Hey, we're back. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another set of art hacks or art tips, as we would call them. Earlier, we had talked about hair and how it's more of a shape and not just starting off with strands. This artist I found did a perfect example of what hair was supposed to be like and how to work it. When I was in high school, nobody taught us how to work with hair. It was something that I just learned gradually. So let's go with this here, and I'm gonna let him talk, and then we'll talk at the end of this one, and then go from there. All right, here we go. Let's hit it.
A lot of people draw hair wrong. They jump in and start scratching away, drawing the strands.
Right.
But hair has form and mass. Going straight to texture gives you spaghetti hair. Groups of hair wrap around and inherit the same major light patterns as the round.
All right, I'm just gonna stop right here, real quick. Notice the shape of the with a head looks like an egg, because the head looks like an egg. And now look at the hair, how he's created that shape, and that's basically where you want to go. Just go with the whole volume of the hair and then add the strength. He's going to get into that. All right, here we go.
Head underneath. Here is a lock of hair. It has shadow, halftone, and highlight.
Yep.
It becomes hair when we add the strands.
There you go.
I approach shadows as flat, graphic shapes and connect as many as I can.
There you go.
There will be some separate floating shadow shapes, but even those follow a rhythm. Halftones have the most texture detail and contrast. They also should be treated as a gradation from shadow to highlight. You can add some texture of the strands in the highlights too, but keep those lines thinner and lighter. Give highlights variety of shape and edge. Drawing hair is about designing. Slow down and take it one step at a time.
All right.
The biggest hint.
Perfect example of that is exactly how you want to look at that. It is volume and its shape. So if you need to look back on this, for a quick tutorial on that, or for a quick art hack, you can learn a lot from just that one area. It's not that we're not going to go into it. We will go into hair and how to draw that out, but just using that one small part is going to help you immensely. All right, let's see what this gentleman has to say.
Hindrance we have when we start learning to draw is thinking we're producing artworks instead of focusing on learning to draw.
Okay.
Is traditional art
kind of agree with that. How do I put it? Degas said one time that art is relatively easy. It really is. It's when you start working and understanding how the principles are, it becomes hard. And I think we should always look at things that you're creating something, but also understand you're learning. I'm even learning. I've been doing this for years, and still I'm constantly learning. So it is, but at the same time you are producing something, even though that I'm learning. So I can see where he's going with that, but I agree to disagree. All right, so let's see what this young man has to say, and then I'll make comments after. Here we go.
better than digital art? Let's go. For me, one of the best parts about traditional art is it's really cheap and all you need is a paper and a pencil. Since it's cheap, you never have to worry about losing it, and it's great for studying because all of your mistakes are permanent, like me making this. And now it's time for digital. The benefit of digital is you can never make too many mistakes. And with digital, if you're on a time crunch, you can make paintings extremely fast.
Okay, first of all, I see where this young man is going, but this is the reason why he's going 1,000 miles an hour, and he is not explaining anything in a very way to understand what's going on. I will tell you right now that if I were looking at this guy, I'd be like, what are you talking about? And I know some of you youngsters may probably understand what's going on here, and I know he's trying to make it fun, but we're going to get into digital art, and I think I've talked about that, about digital art, the pros and cons about that, and you know, it doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, I can work just as fast working in paper and pencil. The reason this young man looks at it this way, he doesn't have any experience. There's no way you can take his years of experience and back him up against any artist my age or even a bit younger, that has half a century of experience under his belt. We're going to be able to draw that and work that in pencil. So the good thing about digital art, which is I agree there, is that you can work on layers and then not have to worry so much about redrawing. But again, like what I showed you, if you draw on sketch paper or you draw on newsprint, then transfer that over, it's going to be basically the same thing. All right, let's continue on.
It's like I made this entire thing in 13 minutes. I honestly like both pretty equally, but none of them compare to my favorite, the wall.
Okay.
Don't make these coloring mistakes and
I guess he was talking about murals. Again, fast. And that's the whole thing about tutorials or these art hacks. They are way too fast. So we'll be getting into all that here. All right, let's see what this one has to say.
Grade. Mistake number 1. Avoid leaving this thin line when dropping colors into your design. You can fix this common issue by doing the following. Drag your color to your object and hold your pen in place. Then drag your pen to the right to turn up the color drop threshold. Now your color will fill up the entire object. Mistake number 2 is having the color spill outside your artwork. You could avoid this happening by dropping color in a closed shape, or make sure your line makes it to the end of the canvas.
Here are some tips
What
to make
he's
sure
talking about here is when you're working in digital art, even if you blow up the art and you look and you find even one pixel, if depending on whether you're working on vector or raster, not so much vector because it's more on numbers, whereas raster is digital and pixels. So with your raster, if you have one pixel off by just a bit, it's going to seep through and then flood your whole picture. Of course, you can backstep and then fix that in itself, and sometimes you can't even see it, but you want to make sure your lines are connected in order to make your digital art work. Same thing I was talking about with the digital art. When you outline and then fill, you're going to see these little white little gaps in there. He had that little art hack to be able to show you how to manipulate that too. You can also blend that out and using your blending tool on there, and then blend the lines out itself. Okay, let's see what this young man has to say.
your sketches and line art look just as good as Cooline's. Let's go. For me, at least, starting your sketch off with a really thin brush is really hard to get my ideas down fast. Instead, try switching to an airbrush. Starting off with a bigger brush like this makes you a lot less scared of making mistakes. Now, when your airbrush sketch is all finished, take your line art tool and then just go over and add all the details. Looking at Cooline's art, you can actually see that she doesn't have line art. Instead, she uses a square brush and paints over it. To start, lower the opacity of your sketch and then get a darker, more...
Okay, we're gonna slow this down here a little bit. He's making it more complicated than what it really should be. Once you're able to understand what we've gone through since the beginning of this for artifacts, and we started, if you understand the line drawing, you're not going to be intimidated by drawing on your iPad or digital art. You'll just sketch that out like you were doing on sketch paper, then do another layer on top of that and draw over that and create your lines. You can also erase those lines. There are so many different ways to work this. For myself, I would disagree with this young man using an airbrush. It becomes foggy, messy. Just build your confidence on what you're drawing first. Gain your experience. You're going to find that you won't have to go through all of this, and you can start building up your images on that. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
more saturated tone. Now, using the square brush, you're just going to want to go over and redefine all of your art. If you can turn off your sketch and there's no difference, you're doing it just as good as Cooline.
Okay, that was pretty quick, and let's see what this one is. Alrighty. Now, we're muting this because it has music, and we're worried about copyright issues. So that's what we have here. Okay. The last one wasn't really sure what he was doing. I think he scanned that over and you saw the eyes move. I think it had to do something with just working with the... Okay, let's move along and see what this one is about. How to like art. Okay. All right, once again, this is digital art, and what this artist is doing is they're actually doing layers. And what you do is you take your color, and then of course you lower the percentage of that from 100 to 0, and you actually take your background there, which is the purple, and that's probably maybe at 20%, build up again, 30%, 40, until you get back to the front here, and then you add the 100%, using a lot of stencils, which is fine, no problem, and they're layering. So it's we'll get into this in digital art and show you some tricks on how to make things work and how to play around with your digital art and give you a step on that. And that's basically a graphic design, what she's working on. Okay, I think that's going to cover everything that we have. Those are pretty quick art hacks. And let's see if we can't stop this here. I hope we did. Did we? Yes, I think we did. No, we didn't. There we go. Oh, stop. It's not stopping. That's because I have it on the wrong button. Please tell me you stopped. Okay. I bet you guys are loving this, seeing the old man trying to figure out how to work the mechanics here on this. Whew. Okay, well that's going to do it for this quick life hack. I'm not even speaking correctly. Life hack. Again, these art hacks or these art tips, some of them are, really good. The one with the hair, some of them are rather quick and fast, and I know that some of these younger kids really understand how to work in the digital arts, but there's a sense of lack of experience. I mean, you can see just from some of his work, he is pretty talented, but there are some areas I could definitely say he needed some work on. But take what you want from this and then build on that. Use these here. I'm hoping that they'll be able to help you. And again, look for other tutorials. If it inspires you to do stuff, this is great. Do that. The whole thing about art is you want to explore, you want to create, you want to get out of that idea that there's only one way to do art. It's not true. You will find different ways to work it, and we'll get more into that more and more. So there's going to be more of these tutorials that we're going to do, and I'll do some more of these reaction videos so that you can be hopefully inspired by working on these and taking off on them. All right, but until next week, once again, like, share, subscribe, get in there. We hopefully you're going to see a lot. There's my darling wife back there. She's working out that. She does all the business end of this. We're even get into the business end of the arts and how that part of the arts is. You have to be diligent. I've even shared that with you. I've shared that in this last several ones when we were working on FDA, when we were working on Newsies. You have a deadline and you have to push. You have to get in there and work. That's what it's going to take. It's not just drawing what you want, because you can draw whatever you want, but where are you going to go with that? You've got to have a target where you're going to go. Okay. Whew, a lot to say. So we'll see you next week. Once again, if I haven't said it already, may the Lord be with you. Always take care, and keep drawing, and draw what you want as well. That's going to keep you going and keep you moving forward the whole time. All right, we will see you. Remember, Thursday, I'm going to say it's Thursday, 3:30. We're going to post, try to stick to that. And then on Tuesday, we will post our reaction videos. All right, take care, and we will see you next week. Oh, there's my wife. Give her a wave. Hello. Bye.